Now at 7, and an 11th resident of the Hollywood Hills nursing home has died. The center lost power after Hurricane Irma last week, and the Hollywood Police Department is treating all of these deaths from this facility as part of a criminal investigation. Meantime, several families have already filed suit.
And Florida's top health regulator announced today that the state plans to aggressively enforce new rules that require nursing homes and assisted living facilities to have generators.
You see Jim DeFede joining us here on the set, and this is a story that appears to be putting all nursing homes and assisted living facilities in the spotlight here in the state.
So let's talk about that generator issue. There was a hearing held today in Tallahassee, not really a hearing, a gathering more of executives from healthcare industries, nursing homes to talk about this. And the governors, again, appointees, has made it very clear they all must have generators within 60 days. The pushback from the nursing homes says we can't do it in 60 days. We are not going to be able to meet that standard, and they're also wondering if the state is willing to financially help them. So this is heading for an impasse. The governor is saying we don't care, you got 60 days, otherwise we're going to start going in and enforcing fines. So there's a showdown. This will also likely end up in court.
All right, Jim, not just hearing from the governor's office, also from various state legislators. What did they have to say?
So earlier today I had a chance to talk to two senators who are going to be at the center of this. State Senator Gary Farmer, who's a Democrat who represents Hollywood, and State Senator Anna Flores, who serves on two of the key committees, chairs two of the key committees that could hear regulations on nursing homes. Let's play some of that sound.
Yes, the nursing homes are supposed to have, and they all do, they comply with the law that says that they need to have an emergency plan. Obviously, either those emergency plans are not sufficient enough, or they're just part of extra paperwork that no one's really looking at. And if that's the case, it's unacceptable.
There are systemic breakdowns. There are systemic holes in our system. Senator Flores was just talking about the emergency plans. That's a paper shuffle. We now know that this particular nursing home was just copying and pasting its prior emergency plans with grammatical and syntax errors included. No meaningful assessment. Then who's inspecting these facilities? There's no physical inspection that goes on to ensure that they have the resources, staffing, equipment, and personnel to implement these plans.
All right, so this is obviously something that's going to be looked at as well. And we mentioned the criminal investigation. We mentioned the fact that there are actually a lot of people sort of looking into who did what and when, the series of phone calls and responses where it seemed as though the nursing home was trying to reach the governor's office. They had used a cell phone number that the governor's office had provided specifically to report emergencies. And I know you were in touch with the governor's office about those calls today.
So for the last few days, we've been trying to find out if the governor's office maintained the records of those phone calls. In other words, did they keep the voicemail messages? There were 4 voicemails left. The governor's office has characterized them as saying that nobody ever from the nursing home expressed any real concern for patient well-being. Well, the proof would be, let us listen to those voicemail messages. We've been requesting them for several days, at least since yesterday, more directly. They kept putting us off. Just literally 45 minutes ago, the governor's office sent us a statement basically saying that they can now confirm for us that the voicemails were deleted. So they do not have the actual voicemails any longer or transcripts, only handwritten notes about what was generally on them.
Real quickly, that number was to be used in case of an emergency. So the fact that they received the calls, I mean, I don't really understand how they could say that nobody really expressed that it was a major issue.
Right. If you would think that if they're calling the governor's personal cell phone, that it was sort of ramped up. Exactly.
All right, Jim DeFede, thank you very much. We'll be watching this weekend. Jim DeFede facing South Florida.